Hello, everybody, and welcome to our town, Greenville, Ohio, as we continue our series of taking a look at those things that make Greenville, Ohio, the town we live in. Going to continue our series here as we go with Main Street, Greenville. We go up and down Broadway and a block either side and take a look at the different stores, businesses, and shops that make up the central portion of Darke County shopping here in Greenville. Alex Warner, along with videographer Nick Schmidt, glad you could join us today. As right now, we're going to be at Roots Hair Salon, one of the newer businesses in town. And with us are the co-owners, Jessica Miller, along with Cassie Bunger. And let's start with Jessica over here. Jesse, how long have you guys been in business now? Not very long, have you?
In June this year will be 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So still kind of a new business, but you've had a lot of experience in this type of work, right?
Yes, since like 2005.
Yeah, you can consider yourself almost a veteran now, huh?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Now let's switch over to Cassie just a second. And how long have you been involved in, what do we call this, hairstyling, cosmetology, yada, yada?
11 years.
11 years, so another veteran going here. How did you guys happen to decide, is this the first time you've been on your own then?
Yeah.
How did you happen to decide to make that plunge?
My husband jokingly said something about opening up our own shop, and I was at her house one day and said, let's do it.
Okay. So have you guys worked together before then?
At Penny's, we used to work together.
Okay. Yeah, I heard Penny's, they're shutting it down out there, right? Okay, so that'll open up some other hairstylists, I assume, down the way, or what?
Possibly, yeah.
Possibly. Now, do you have any others that are in here with you two right now?
Yes, we have 2 other stylists, Tiffany Handmaker and Amy Gessler.
Okay. And so you're a 1, 2, am I counting right? What would you call this, a five chair shop or what?
Just the 3, but those 2, they split like part-time each.
Okay.
So when one's here, the other's not.
Okay, but I'm counting 5 chairs, so 2 of them are just
Shampoo bowls.
shampoo?
Yep.
Okay, all right, that makes sense then. So when you did this, now you're located, you said this used to be what before you guys came in here?
A tattoo shop.
Tattoo shop? Did you have to do a lot of remodeling or painting, or what all did you have to do to get things set up here then?
Painting and plumbing and redoing the back room, and what else did we do? Well, we had to put the stations and all that stuff in.
Okay, so it took a little while. Do you buy all the chairs and all this stuff, or is this leased, or how do you do that?
Yep, the building's leased, but we buy everything else.
Okay, so that was maybe filling out some paperwork and bank loans and everything. Typical of getting a small business started, right? Did you guys have any advice on how to get things going from the business end of it or not?
No.
Yeah? So kind of fly by the seat of your pants to get started. How tough was that to get that going?
It had its moments.
How did you happen to decide to stay in the downtown Greenville area then?
We'd just been looking around, and this place was open, and we checked out a couple other places before here, and then we came in here. It's like, this is it. This is what we want. Been looking for. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and you have great traffic flow up and down all the time. Now, did a lot of your clients, were you at Penny's also?
Yes, I've worked 2 other places since then, but
Typically, do a lot of your clients follow you around then?
most of them, yes. Sometimes they will go somewhere else or stay where you were before.
Okay, and the same pretty much with you, brought your own clients over then?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this then. What got you involved? How did you happen to decide to choose this as a career?
I've always wanted to.
Really?
Yeah.
Even when you were a little kid or something, you thought, boy, that'd be kind of cool? Yep. All right. Well, and then, so the training then, where did you go to take your training?
PJ's in Richmond.
And how long a course is that?
It's about 13 months.
Okay. Now, does that involve, well, I mean, yeah, hair for sure, but and a lot of anatomy and things around the facial area. Then did you have to do anything else as far as like, I don't know, nails or anything of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had to do nails.
Yeah. Do you guys offer that service here then or not? Or you just straight hair?
We just do hair.
Okay.
I mean, we do pedicures every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But that's something that maybe you'll develop a little more down the way. You're going to be kind of cramped for space as you grow then, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I could see you guys maybe not being here. Yeah. Now, how about you? How did you happen to decide to do this, Jessica?
Same thing. I remember filling out all those forms in school of what you thought you'd want to be when you grew up, and it was always a hairstylist.
Okay. Now, where did you go to school then?
I went to Anthony for a couple years, and in Greenville I graduated.
Well, yeah, but I mean as far as for the styling and everything, cosmetology school.
Same school as her, PJ's in
Okay,
Richmond.
Did you guys were you in the same class then, or how did you two come get together? Just working at Penny's?
Oh, we actually have a mutual cousin. Her cousin's married to my cousin, so we've always kind of known each other. And then I went to school with her husband.
Okay.
She started school before me. Actually, all four of us went to the same school here. All four stylists that work here went to the same beauty school.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit then. You've gone through the training and everything, and you've been in practice for quite a while. Then you have to go back and get continuing education units from time to time?
Yes, 8 every 2 years.
8 hours every 2 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you pick those up at? Trade shows you go to? Or?
Beauty shows, and you can do it online, or if other classes will accept the CE hours. Some of them do, some of them don't.
Okay. Yeah, I knew you had some hours. I wasn't sure how you got this. Do you try to get to different trade shows then on a fairly regular basis, not only for the continuing ed units, but just to keep up on products and everything?
Yes, for sure. We could probably get our 8 hours done in one show is for 2 days. So 1 year we could get it all done, but we go every year just for the fun of it, learning new things and new products. There's always new products that's coming out. So.
Right. Yeah, we're going to take a look at some of that in just a little bit too. Some of the products you guys offer, and then I want to ask you some questions about. Do you have many male clients?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what percentage you think? 25% of them are male?
Yeah, about 25.
Okay. Now they come in just mainly for haircuts, and then you do like razor cuts. You just use the shears, or what all do you use on a male client? And I got to admit, I get my hair cut by a female too. So yeah.
So,
Because there's not many barbers around anymore. You've got Broadway Barbershop and a few others, but more and more you see just the females or the cosmetologists, the ones cutting the hair. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's a typical guy come in and get then? Just a straight haircut?
it all depends. Everybody's different. We have a wide range. One person could come in and get a mohawk, and the next one gets the basic men's haircut.
We actually do some coloring on men too. I've colored hair, facial hair. They get some services just like women, waxing and
You mean like body hair waxing and so forth?
eyebrows.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, yes.
I have done that at other salons, but we don't really have a space unless you're cool with just letting it all out.
Yeah, I hear the screams out on Broadway, right? And you say some guys are getting their hair dyed and colored that way, huh?
Yep.
You're not like highlighted or anything.
We've had some highlights for
Really?
men. Yep.
Now, would you say most of your clientele, all ages, or you guys cater more to like 30 and younger, or how's that play out?
It's a wide range.
Okay.
I'd say anywhere from kids to 70, maybe. I mean, it all depends.
Sometimes the step out front is kind of a big step. So if they can't get in, we go give them a hand and help them in. And sometimes that turns some of them away because they struggle to get up.
Okay.
So.
I'll tell you what, we're going to take a look here in just a second at some of the different things you have around here, and we'll talk about that a little bit. And we'll be back in just a minute here as you watch Roots Hair Salon here on the Wave Channel 5. We'll be back in just a moment. Here with Jessica Miller, one of the co-owners of Roots Hair Salon, and we're going to kind of take a tour around the facility here. And let's start with, I guess, what do you call this, the wash station, or what do we call this?
The shampoo bowl.
Shampoo bowl, okay. So when a person comes in, say a guy comes in or a female comes in, this is kind of a typical starting spot is to wash their hair first of all. And the reason we're doing that is?
Clean hair. I feel like everybody's different, but I feel like it cuts a little better when it's nice and evenly wet. Spraying it down doesn't get it consistently. So, and it's massage with it. It feels nice. Some people just come for the shampoo. So.
Well, do you use the same shampoo on every person, or does it depend on what they're here for and how their hair is? And talked about fine and normal and all that stuff. You look at hair care products as if for fine hair, for normal hair. How can you tell what you got? Especially a guy like me, I have no clue.
Well, each client is different, whether they got straight or they're looking for sleek and not frizzy hair. There's curly hair. Some people need moisture for dry hair. So we have a little bit of everything. Color treated, volumizing. So, I mean, it's what the client needs. You kind of have like a consultation before you get started with them and kind of figure out what their needs are, and then you go from there.
Okay. So I see we got all sorts of products back here. Now, Matrix is a product I've heard of quite a bit. Is that one of the main hair care product lines, is Matrix?
I feel like it still is. There are quite a few new ones, and people like new stuff, so they start over. But I've never done anything wrong with Matrix, so I continue to use it.
Okay. And so I'm looking at some of this stuff. So like here it says amplify volume, and we got curl and curl buckles, something like that. And do you have to wear gloves when you put all this stuff on people's hair or not? Because some of that could be fairly harsh, isn't it, or not?
Not with the shampoos and stuff, but with the color, definitely, because it stains a little bit. My nails are a little stained right now. And bleach kind of burns the skin, so you try to wear gloves with that. But perms usually don't touch your skin with it. So
okay. Yeah, I was just curious about that because I'm looking at all this and I think, boy, you know, if you're seeing quite a few clients over the course of the day and you're just doing it without any gloves on, your hands could take a beating, I assume. You have to put moisturizer on your hands then, do you?
Yep. We have to use like a hand sanitizer after each client, so then that constantly drying it out. And yeah, we definitely have lots of lotion in the back.
Okay. Hey, you know, one thing I've never really understood, and I just never thought these chairs ever fit a guy. Have you noticed that or not? The guys say, boy, that's, you know, it's like we're low to the ground, or when you tip us back to get the hair washed, it just doesn't fit right. And then, you know, being a chiropractor, these things always are good for business because a lot of people come in with sore necks after getting their hair washed.
Yeah, everybody's shape is different when they're shorter, and if they're longer, we definitely got to scoot the chair forward a little bit, and just asking them, you know, and some people are like, oh, it's fine. Like, well, no, we want to make sure you're comfortable. So just let us know and we'll change it up for you.
Okay. So this is the, what do you call this?
The shampoo.
The shampoo bowl. Okay. And they've got two of them here. So you say you have like four of you. Do all four of you work at one time? Probably not.
No, max but three of us. So.
Okay. I was going to say, because four would make it pretty crowded in here. It'd be lined up trying to get to the shampoo bowl, wouldn't they? Okay. Well, we're going to swing around here and we're going to talk to Cassie Bunger here in just a second. And we're going to take a look at the three-chair station over here where they do all the magic, right? All of it. Okay. We'll be back in just a moment. Cassie, this is where all the cutting and trimming and everything else takes place over here. You've got three different stations. Let's take a look at some of the tools you use and everything here, the scissors and what all we've got here. And then talk a little bit about, with all your training, and you've got to be pretty specific on cleanliness and sterilization and everything. So let's talk about just some of the main items you use. Somebody comes in to get a haircut, for example.
Mm-hmm. Well, the basic cut is with the scissors, and then there's different shears. There's the thinning shears, chunking shears, razors. It all depends on texture. If you want to add more texture to somebody's hair, or what kind of cut it is. So
you can add more texture by what you use scissor-wise? Like, yes. Well, let's see. Hold one of those up. Which one would that be?
Either one of these, the texturizing shears or the razor.
Okay.
It just gets the bulk out.
Okay. And you do this after they've usually had the shampoo, so here's a little damp because that makes for a better cut. Is that how you do that? Okay. And then these things, the shears and everything, they have to be sterilized every so often, or use a solution, or what do you do for that?
Spray. There's a spray for your scissors, and then every comb, brush, anything that you're using on that client gets put in our sanitizer solution.
Okay.
And then every cape goes in the washer, and towels. And
okay. Now, how hard is it for you to, I mean, you're always reaching around people, and you always cut right-handed? Are you right-handed?
Yes.
Do they make left-handed scissors for left-handed people?
Some people cut right-handed whenever they are left-handed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So would you say most people then cut right-handed, or what?
There is left-handed scissors, but I've never had to deal with that, so I never had to look for it.
Okay. See, these are questions inquiring minds want to know. Okay, let's take a look at some of the other stuff you have here then. And then like combs and things like that. You have different style of combs and brushes and...
There's like the heat-resistant combs, and then there's wide-tooth combs, regular standard combs, rat tail comb.
What do you use a rat tail comb for?
More for sectioning. If you are foiling the hair, you kind of weave with it.
Okay. You just lost me. When you say sectioning?
Yeah. To section the hair, like whenever you're putting foils, and you have to to section different rows to weave.
And when you say foiling, see, Nick and I are rookies at this. We're not sure. Foiling, is that when you're doing perms or something, or what?
Highlights. You can use it. You can use this comb for perming too when you're sectioning the different rows of hair to perm it.
Okay. Now, what are these things?
Those are alligator clips.
And they're used for?
Clipping the hair. Holding your sections.
Okay, holding my sections. See, I'm learning all sorts of new stuff here. Well, that's kind of cool, all this stuff. And then, what are all these things? I mean, I know what a hairdryer is. And then, do you use this very often then?
Yes, those are the trimmers.
Okay. Mostly for guys or?
Girls, guys. They clean up your neckline.
Okay.
Gets a smoother shave.
Yes, it does. Okay. I remember my mom used to cut my hair my brothers and I don't think I had a regular haircut from anybody until, geez, I was probably like 17. I almost went to college, I think. She saved a ton of money that way, but I'm not real sure we looked the best. I mean, that's why I had trouble picking women up back in those high school days. I don't know. Hey, let's take a look at some of this stuff right here.
These are just your
I
Marcel
don't know if I'm getting that in. Okay.
So whenever you're curling or doing an updo for a formal event or just for a basic hairstyle, and there's different sizes, all different sizes.
You get a lot of kids come in then before proms and everything that want the updos. Is that what you call them, or fancy hair do's?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I figured. How about as far as, have you noticed, is there any new trends as far as like different kind of cuts and everything now, or not? I know my wife goes in and she'll find something in magazines. A lot of people come in with, well, I want my hair to look something like this out of a magazine or something.
A lot more people come with Pinterest pictures, anything they can find online. We've even hopped on our computer and they said,
wow.
Have you seen so-and-so's new haircut? Sure. Get on there and look.
How tough is that for you to come up with something? You know, somebody walks in and their hair is really long and they want like a bob or I don't know what kind, but shorter or curls and stuff. How hard is that for you to just say, well, you know, I think I can match your hair to this picture?
Pretty easy. I think being a hairstylist, you have to be visible to what that person wants. And if it's something that isn't going to flatter them, usually we're pretty honest and let them know, well, let's change the length a little bit. Let's shorten the layers. Okay. There's always something new. And new stuff is fun for us. We don't
I bet it is.
With the same.
Yeah.
It's
a little boring if you're just cutting the same length time after time with the same person.
Yeah.
How about as far as, why is it that women, as they get older, you know, I'm going to say like 50 and up, why do they go with shorter hairstyles? Like you guys have longer hair, and a couple of girls we had in here earlier have the longer hair. But I notice as women get older, they go shorter hair. Why is that?
It could just mainly be a time thing. I mean, if they don't want to mess around with long hair, I don't know. We get lots of different ranges in hair.
Yeah. I'm just, you know, because you just don't see too many women like in their 70s and 80s with hair down the middle of their back. I didn't know if that was just for ease.
It could just be something they're used to, too. I mean, that generation, they wanted their hair roller set, and now this day and age, I think people's coming out of the roller sets and get more trendier, easier hairstyles.
Easier hairstyles? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I see you got the big gun here, the titanium Baby Bliss Pro or whatever it is. How important is it? Should somebody, well, let me ask you this. Should people like guys, should they shampoo their hair every day and use a conditioner or not?
It's up to their hair type. If it's not oily, then I would say every other day. I think men tend to sweat a little bit more, especially in the summertime. So hygiene-wise, you probably want to shampoo it every day, but it depends on their length.
Yeah. And then how important is it, like, to blow dry it then? I know a lot of guys, you know, at the Y or something, you know, had a good workout, you get out of the locker room, you're just taking a shower and stuff. Is it important to blow dry it, or is it better just let air dry it?
If you let it air dry, it's less heat, so it's less damage on your hair. Okay. So, but there are like styling protectant sprays and lotions that you could use to help protect against the heat.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then let me ask you this, and then we'll move on to the next station here. We've got the mirrors and everything. Do most people like to face away from the mirror while their hair is being cut, or would they rather face it, or do you have a preference while you're working on them?
I like to face them towards it, so then that way I can see what I'm doing.
And their reaction to, or not?
Sometimes we face them away just to see like the final reveal. we like to play around with our customers and make it a game sometimes.
Surprise them when you flip the chair 180 degrees. I always wondered about that. I didn't know, because you got mirrors everywhere, so I didn't know how that would work out. Well, anyhow, we're going to go take a look now at what might be a station for somebody that gets a perm or dye job or something over here, and we'll be back in just a moment here on the Wave Channel 5. So somebody's had their hair washed, and then we've gone over to the stations over here, and we've had the trim and the cut and the drying and whatever else we got, the curlers, yada, yada, yada. So now we've got 2 or 3 of these things over here. These are dryers, but who gets put under a dryer? What have they had done that brings them to this point?
Someone might get something as simple as their hair's curly, so you put gel in it, but if you don't have a defrizzer, then the hair can get blown out and really big, and they might not be looking for that. So when you put the hood down on the dryer over their head, it's heat and air, but not blowing their hair all around. So it kind of just has a nice soft look. We use it to heat up when someone gets highlights and foils. It heats their hair up so it turns blonder faster.
When you say defrizz, what do you mean defrizz?
A defrizzer is something that you put on the end of a hairdryer, and it makes the air not blow in one consistent direction. So if the hair is blown in one direction, it kind of pushes it in all different ways, where this makes the hair come in different spots. So it kind of looks like a hand, and like you would just hold it there, and it would kind of make the curls dry however you hold it in that position.
Yeah. Typically, how long somebody under something like this? Because I know when I've gotten my hair cut once in a while, there's a woman under there, I get my hair cut, and I leave, she's still under there. So does it depend on what they had done or how much hair they've got or what?
Both. If their hair's thick, it definitely takes a while. If it's real thin, they could be done in like 2 minutes. And for highlights, it definitely depends too on not so much on their hair thickness or thinness, but the color they had before, the color you're aiming for. So that depends on how long they would be under there too. It could be anywhere from 2 minutes to 35 minutes.
Okay. A couple things I'm just thinking of right now. Okay. A lot of people come in and they get their hair dyed or highlighted or whatever. How many people come in after they've tried it themselves at home and just really blew it?
A lot.
That's what I figured.
And then you feel bad because they've already spent so much money on their own, and then you got to charge them here for our products and services as well. But they usually always leave happy or learn something new.
I always wondered about it. What was it, like Lady Clairol or something like that? Is that some name, Miss Clairol? Yeah. And I see women, they buy it. I don't know what those things cost, but I'm thinking, boy, I don't know. You could get some real bad results. I remember one time in high school, I think the thing was we used to squeeze lemon juice on our head or something, and then I don't know what else we did, but my hair turned orange one summer. It wasn't a pretty sight. But and I just think all these times people come in with these Lady Clairol products, and not maybe knocking the product, but just they don't know how to use it properly, right?
Yes, and the difference between a product from a salon and from the store is you get one base product from the store. So you get one color and a 20 volume developer, where here you might not need a 20 volume lift. So we have things that are lower, so less damaging to your hair, and we can mix, like, say you need some neutral but you pull red, so we can put a little bit of ash in there to cancel out that red, where at a store you just get one color. Yeah.
Okay. What's a split end?
A split end?
I just hear about that all the time. Oh, she's got split end. No, come on.
Trim too. They just, all the damage could be from sun, could be from heat tools. When you're brushing your hair, if you're brushing too hard, you could rip it. And it's just when the hair rips and breaks, and it just looks like a frazzled mess at the end.
Frazzled mess. Well, that's probably been me for years. But anyhow, hey, here's another question. Can they hear what you're talking about when they're under those dryers or not?
It's hard sometimes if it's down real low. It's funny because they don't realize how loud they're talking to the person beside them, because it sounds like they're not talking loud, but they are definitely very loud. Other people don't have any trouble. They'll just kind of lean their head one way and
want to catch up on the gossip here at the salon, right?
Right.
Oh, well, hey, we're going to swing back over here in just a second. We're going to take a look at some of the products they offer here at Roots Hair Salon here on South Broadway, just first block south of the traffic circle, right? We'll be back in just a moment. Here at Roots Hair Salon on Broadway. Let's talk a little bit, Cassie, about some of the different products you offer here. I'm really impressed or intrigued by this. I see we've got all sorts of products that say big sexy hair. I don't know if I qualify for that anymore or not, but this says big altitude. What does this mean? What is this and big altitude?
That's a volumizing mousse. You can use it on straight, curly. The more you use, it doesn't matter. That product doesn't build up. So you could use as little as a dime size or as big as a golf ball. It doesn't matter.
And when you say mousse, that's MOUSSE or something like that. Well, what is a mousse anyhow?
It's not an animal.
It's not an animal? Yeah, I asked it.
It's a volumizer.
Okay.
It helps.
Just
Yes,
your hair
it plumps your hair up.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at some of these other things up here. We've got a line of stuff. I mean, it says weatherproof and flip it over. What's a Root Pump Plus?
That's also a root lifter. You spray it on your roots, and it adds volume just at your crown area.
Okay, so all this stuff to add volume just makes for a fuller head of hair. At least it looks fuller.
Yes. The big and sexy is more of a volumizing line.
Okay.
You can use it on curly or straight hair. It all depends on the look that you want. So it's a pretty basic line.
Okay.
So if you wear curly one day and straight the next, you can
Pump it
use
up.
both of them. Yep.
Okay. And then what's some of this other stuff we have down here? We'll go down the row here a little bit. I see we've got Smooth and Seal. What is a Spiker water-resistant styling glue? What in the world is that? It says ice hair.
That's more of a male product or a woman that has like shorter hair, something that pieces your hair out.
Okay.
It's a thicker, stronger material. So like if you want more of like the Zac Efron where it's like kind of flipped up in the front,
Yeah.
that would be a good one. Or for like the women that wants more of the spikier
Got it.
look.
You know, back in the old days, if I remember, it used to be called butch wax or something like that, and it just looked like putting axle grease on your hair, if I remember. That's way before your time. and then we've got just all sorts of stuff here. We've got, well, I didn't even know how to pronounce this over there when I was talking to Jess. What is that? Curl something. What do you do with that?
It's curl. That's Spanish underneath it.
Oh, okay. All right, well.
This is the conditioner. It's for curly hair.
Mm-hmm.
So it's formatted just for curly hair, natural curl. It helps unfrizz the hair, helps have more of a bouncier curl.
Okay. All right, and then we got all sorts of things down here. I know I use something called, I got something what it is, American Crew hairspray or something like that. Is that good for a guy to use something like that?
Yeah. That's a whole man's line.
Yeah, American Crew is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my son-in-law kind of turned me on to that, and it's kind of nice. I can walk outside now. If the wind's blowing, it usually stays pretty much in one piece. Of course, looks like it's plastered on my head sometimes, but that's when you don't have a lot of hair, you got to go with what you got, you know. Tell me this. What are one or two things that really hurt people's hair? I mean, things you say, hey, don't ever do that again.
Probably brushing through wet, matted hair.
Really?
That's one of the biggest ones because all you're doing is breaking the hair. But we do offer like the wet brush, which is formulated like this brush right here, which it is formulated for detangling your hair. It's safe to use on it wet.
Okay. So a guy shouldn't, or a guy or girl, either one, shouldn't get out of the shower, say, for example, and just start whacking away as far as brushing.
Because all you're doing is ripping your hair out. When you see a bunch of hair in your brush, that's not a good sign.
Okay. Well, yeah, or in your shower drain for that matter, yeah. Well, so if I've taken a shower, yada, 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 I've gotten out, I've used shampoo and conditioner, I get out, then should I just let that air dry or should I blow dry it before I put on, say, a spray or anything?
If you want more of a wetter look, you could keep it wet.
But don't use a regular brush. Get one of these wet brushes then, right?
Yeah, a man or a woman could use those.
Okay.
If you have shorter hair and you don't have a lot of tangles, you could also use like a wide tooth comb. That'll also help pull those rats out of your hair also.
That's the rats. Okay,
rats.
I have to remember that, rats. And then you guys just offer all sorts of stuff. So people come in, they can just, without even getting their hair cut or anything, they can buy products right off the shelf, true?
Yeah, Anytime that we're open, they're more than welcome just to stop by for product.
Speaking of when you're open, what are your hours?
We're open usually 10 to 5, and then Monday and Wednesday we are here until 8.
Do you have Saturday hours also?
9 to 3.
So you do have to work on Saturdays. You guys kind of rotate around. Do you have fixed schedules?
Yeah, each of us take one Saturday off a month.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I bet that's important to have that off too, isn't it? Yeah. Well, we're going to wrap things up here in just a minute as we talk about Roots Hair Salon here on South Broadway here on Channel 5. Wrap things up for this episode of Our Town as we've been talking to Jessica Miller and Cassie Bunger, the co-owners of Roots Hair Salon. So you've been here 3 years now.
Yep. In June, 3 years.
And telephone number if people want to get in touch with you.
It's 937-459-5041.
And you are taking new clients all the time.
yes.
Do you do much with walk-ins or not?
As long as we have time available, we're happy to accept any walk-ins.
Yeah. And it seems with like 4 of you here, and then you're here 2 evenings plus Saturdays, so people should be able to get in, pretty often. So anyhow, so this has been a good adventure for you here these 3 years you guys have been together.
Yes, I love it. I never expected to grow as fast as we did, and I wouldn't change anything. I love our clients and feel like they're more than clients, they're more like friends and family, and it doesn't matter if one person knows the other, they join in the conversation together, and you don't feel like you have to dress up to come in here. You're just really homey. So I love it.
And then is that the kind of niche you're after? Because there's a lot of beauty salons around the area. So is that what you've kind of tried to create then, that more of a little family atmosphere?
More comfy, warm atmosphere.
And you've done a pretty good job of it seems like. So anyhow, Jessica Miller, Cassie Bunger, Roots Hair Salon. Phone number one more time.
937-459-5041.
So if you folks are looking for a new look or just want to get involved with some ladies that really will take good care of you here, make sure you stop in up here. On behalf of Nick Schmidt, our videographer, I'm Alex Warner. Glad you could join us here again on Our Town as we take a look at those things that make Greenville, Ohio, our hometown here on the Wave Channel 5, Greenville Public Access TV. Till next time, good night, everybody.